garden, guys and gals. It's Steph with Tiny's Garden, and today is the day I am bringing you the Tulip Tour of 2022 here on my channel. I did this over the course of about 5 days, 3 days in a row, and then a couple days off, and now today I'm considering day number 5 to show you the transition because our weather was really cool. And that was about the first day that I took footage of this video, and then it got really hot. We're talking a 30-degree jump, so from 40s, maybe 50s, all the way up to 90. We had probably 3 or 4 days in a row of 90, so you'll see how the transition happened with those tulips from cool to warm to being too warm, and you'll see that today, but they're still beautiful. And I wanted to take you on this journey with me today. I know a lot of you have been thinking about how they turned out. Today's the day I'll show you. Enjoy. In the front, on each side of the driveway, we have a bulk mix from Holland Bulb Farm. And we've got our service berry trees that are in bloom above with swamp white oaks. This drift through this side of the driveway is new this year, again with the bulk mix, and I really love how it turned out. I'll be doing that next year as well. I believe this is the accent daffodil. It's the next night, and already with the sun out, so many more tulips have popped. It's quite amazing. Even the hydrangeas have put on more growth. And I'm seeing more specialty tulips in this mix, which is really fun. Like that one there. You couldn't even see this bee balm when I took that sneak peek tulip video. And look at it taking off. And then those beauties in the background. And this one here is the only one I've seen of its kind. But she's pretty. Even a new daffodil has graced our presence. The Maley Pink Daffodil. And these planters are starting to get some blooms on them. They've filled in really nicely. I'm loving the tulips complementing them on the side. Right side's a little behind because it gets less sun, but it's still a very picturesque front entrance. Nothing is beating this one. She's my favorite. Through and through. The My Story Daffodil. This isn't a tulip, my Iceland poppy bed, but do you see what I see? Ladies and gentlemen, that's my first bud of the season. Even the Iceland poppies enjoyed the 90-degree day today. It was another near 90-degree day today, and you can see corner tulips have popped. And I just adore these. The tag says Temple of Beauty. Such a pretty pastel yellow with some in the pink family coloring as well. Really pretty. You can see them reaching for the sun there. And the serviceberry tree is already done blooming. And down below, again, it's those white tulips with yellow striping. That's new today in these beds. And this video is not doing these daffodils justice. They have the faintest pink peach coloring on them with yellow in the middle. But they're really, really pretty and unique. And here's the whole view from the front, pulling in to the house. And I'm loving how you can see the tulips up at the front walkway as well. It's a really nice, inviting scene. And still my favorite here. Unfortunately, I don't know the name. I didn't order this one. And even my daffodils in the shade over here have decided to open. And for those of you wondering, Mama Bird is still up in her nest. It's been a lot of fun to look closely and interesting to see the little differences in what blooms and when over the course of 3 days with these tulips. And also what a difference the heat makes. We changed from cool weather to hot weather in those days, and you can see the tulips just exploded. And more blooms in the spring containers through the front porch, and everything has filled in really nicely. Even one bloom over here as well. These Helmar Triumph tulips are stunning. One of my favorites of this year, without a doubt. I just love the striped coloring, and I'll show you their shape here. Up front, they got pretty decent height. So definitely one of my favorites, and this is on day 5 here. You can see how much all the tulips are open over their shoulder. In day 5 here, you're going to see some of the reckoning from the sun, how those ends look almost burnt. But you can see how much a lot of these doubles have opened all the way into there too. They're definitely hot and on their way out. And today is actually about a 74-degree day. So it's still nice to see some color up here. But if we come across the way, you'll see these are in a little better shape because they don't get quite as much sun over here. So still toasty, but not quite as toasty. Especially protected back here. Those double ones sure are pretty. You'll be able to see the difference here on day 5, how a lot of them are on their way out. That 90-degree heat was intense for a lot of these, but then we still have some beauties, like this one here. She's pretty. It's interesting to see which ones came back from last year's mix. I ordered a completely different mix this year, but these that you did not see in the beginning video have bloomed. Those are from last year, as well as these really tall orange ones. That was my favorite from last year. So it's interesting to see what did come back and what did not. Over here to the left of the driveway, we have the Alison Bradley And also the Danceline Doubles have opened up. If you're a purple person, you'd probably really like this side, but I actually prefer this other side. I just love these colors together. The white with red striping is another favorite of mine. That is the Carnival De Rio. And if you look inside here, we've got a little yellow element. Oh, so pretty. These were not bloomed the first day either. And they've really, really taken off. And if they're not my favorite, they're right up there. Their shape, I think, is so beautiful. How it slightly opens up and curls just a little bit. And then on the inside, with that yellowing, oh, she's a gorgeous one, no doubt. Also a new one here on day 5. I just noticed this was starting to bloom. I'm gonna have to double check what the variety is because I don't remember. But aren't those pretty? We got apricot pink on the outside, and then when we come up and over them, a really beautiful sight as well. So those have come up late also. Once all those bloom through the back there, I've got several heads. That'll be really pretty up front here, especially as those daffodils fade. And what was once one of my favorites is just absolutely fried. That heat, it does take it out of them day after day. Here's one that has also bloomed. It's supposed to be Compostela, but that does not look like Compostela to me. Interesting. And lastly, if you were wondering about those poppies from a few days ago, look at all the buds now. These guys do not like the heat, so I'm so glad they survived. I cannot wait to see these Iceland poppies in bloom. Should be my first cut flower of the season. And that's it for this video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed and that you found it interesting as well with the changes in the weather, their bloom time, and how fast they also deteriorated with the heat. But it was a great year. I'm chalking it up as a success. However, I'm totally gonna go differently next year. I was heavy on red and yellow this year, also with mixing a bunch of different colors. And I've got a different game plan for next year, which I'll unveil in a different video. And remember, ordering your tulip bulbs is coming right up after they fade. That's when you want to put your order in so that you get what you want. Thanks for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you here, and we'll see you in the next video. Happy planting, everybody. Bye.